Hello, hello, I'm Casey.
And I'm Fallon.
And this is
Render the
Darkness.
We're back.
Look how in sync we can do it when we're sitting next to each other. And it doesn't have to like go to outer space and back to... Ow.
Sorry. I was trying to get in the picture.
Jeez.
You know, each time we do this, to get a little bit further.
Well, okay, but ironically, before we start to record, I'm usually out of frame, and she's like, you want to get a little bit in frame? So then I scoot over, and then she complains about how I'm in frame.
Wonderful.
Can I make this woman happy? Nothing you can do. Other than maybe talk about ghosties. That makes her happy most of the time. Yeah.
Do that weird clap that I can't remember who it was.
I don't know.
Somebody did it at the Oscars or something. I can't remember who it was. Hopefully they don't see this and be like, why are you making fun of me?
We have high hopes. We have high hopes for our fandoms.
But, anywho, so this is going to be the Hauntings of Hawaii.
Do you think it's weird if we create our own fandoms? Just write our own stories in multiple different ways. Is that weird? Is that a thing people do? Do you write stories for yourself?
Oh, for your own lives?
Or no, like for our podcast.
Oh. I guess we could.
It could be like Render the Darkness podcast. They were the superheroes of their genre. And then like create this whole story, this whole background of like how we were born under rocks and like
that thing that like your parents used to tell you.
We're picked up in a lab. Like we're picked up by people who have a lab, and then like I don't know, they threw some chemicals on us, and then we were like Bruce Banner's little cousins, hulked out on some paranormal. That's not sponsored. I don't know. I'm just saying, fandom. Like you can write whatever you want, right? Isn't that the whole point? It's like a fan fiction.
It is. Whatever you want, you can write it.
Yeah. And then like we hulked out too hard one day, and our stories were too powerful, and then like we imploded into like plant seeds, and then like we came back as like tulips and daisies to make the world beautiful. I don't know. All right.
I don't want to implode into a daisy.
We'd implode into seeds and then become a daisy.
I don't want to implode into a seed either.
Well,
I don't want to implode.
It's not your fan fiction. It's mine. You can write your own. That's what I'm saying. You can write your own fan fiction.
Okay. Can you hear the rain?
Can you hear the rain? Tippy-tappy, tippy-tappy. If you can't, there it was. Yay. Live and in person. Back to the case.
Oh, don't have a little fact or anything going on?
I do. Fun fact. I'm sticking along the course of the names of groups of things. So, a group of alligators is called a congregation of alligators.
A congregation?
A congregation of alligators. Let that sink in.
Okay. Congregation.
Yeah. Apply that to real life.
I don't see a whole lot of alligators chilling out beside each other, so.
Well, my brain went political. Yours went to groups of alligators chilling.
Yeah, it went to, actual groups of alligators, but,
That's your fun fact.
Yeah. Yay. Okay, so I'm just going to let you know right here, I'm going to try to talk, first of all.
She's going to try
to talk. And say these names as well as I can. I have Googled them. I have them spelled out in a certain way, but if you watch this podcast, you know that doesn't mean anything with me. So, gotta try.
Don't you worry, I'll correct her. Yeah. And if I can't, I'll still call her ass out, because it's fun. Carry on.
Alright. Alright, so the first one we are going to talk about is the Night Marchers. Now, the Night Marchers are said to be dangerous spirits of early native Hawaiian warriors.
Oh.
When the Hawaiian gods, here we go, Kane, Ku, Lano, and on nights of Kanaloa, it's said that they come out of their graves or come out of the ocean and form a large group and start marching to old battle sites or other hallowed ground.
Mm.
The spirits are said to be regular-sized warriors that are ready for battle, carrying weapons, and some are using war drums and conch shells to signify that they are moving forward. It is also said that their feet never touch the ground as they march to their destination.
The earliest of the phones, the conch shells.
Yes, the conch.
They never got near enough credit.
Bob of the Sponge. They like this conch.
But it's glad to see somebody's using it in a productive way.
Yeah. Now, they are more often seen during the night, and they keep marching until sunrise.
You think that's why they're called night marchers?
Anyone who lives on their path will be able to hear them chant, will smell a pungent death-like odor, and see bright torches coming closer.
Ooh.
They say that sometimes they might come out during the day to help a dying family member to the spirit world.
Who's they?
Night marchers.
No, like you keep saying they say. Who's they?
People.
People.
Yeah.
What people?
The stories.
Oh, the storytellers.
The stories that you see, they say, the people in those
Oh.
stories.
Oh. I've been sick the last couple of days and I'm feeling much better.
That's good.
I haven't got to be an asshole to anybody in like 2 or 3 days. I got some catching up to do.
So I get it all, huh?
I promise you won't get it all.
Now, some beliefs are that any living person that see the marchers or that have done something to offend them will have a very violent death. It's said that if a person lies on the ground, face down, and doesn't move, that shows a sign of respect to the night marchers and that they will leave them alone.
How long do you have to stay on the ground?
Until they march right by your ass.
What if they step on you? Would it hurt?
Their feet don't ever touch the ground.
Oh, man. How cool would it be if they floated over you?
It probably would.
I mean, you couldn't see it because you have to be still and you're laying down. But man, that'd be rad. You'd be like, hey, there was this one time that I laid down out of respect for the night watchers and they floated right over the top of me.
Okay. Now, the way the march happens is tailored to honor the warrior's leader tastes. If you like music, there would be drums being played. If you preferred silence, the march would be really quiet. If you didn't care for walking, he would be carried in by a sling by the warriors. In early Hawaiian beliefs, there were laws that would sometimes make a certain body part of the king or the chief sacred, and it was not to be seen by any living person. If someone did see one of the sacred body parts, they would be killed immediately with bolts of lightning and heat coming from the warrior's eyes.
Oh.
Now, the person's body would then dissipate as vapor, and if their faces were the sacred body part, they would lead from the front, and if it was their back, they would be more towards the back of the march.
Like, what an advantage for the sacred warrior, though, right? Because, like, let's say, for example, the sacred body part is like a finger, and he's like, that's somebody that he doesn't like, and he's like, yoo-hoo, and then boom, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that is a superpower.
Or the face,
for
be like,
sure.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm sure it was like underneath the cloth or something, but he was just like, boom.
Yeah. Okay. And so the second one we're going to talk about is the Faceless Ghost of Wai'alae Drive In. In Japan, there's a spirit that looks like a living person, except for one missing feature: the face.
Everybody's talking about faces.
These spirits are normally harmless, and they call these spirits the, hopefully I say this correctly, Napurubo. Is that right? Napurubo?
That's what Google said.
Okay. So if it's wrong, go after Google. One report talks about a couple spirits that were seen by school children at an intermediate school in Kailua. They claim that they seen an old man and a woman that didn't have a face. Mm-hmm. Another story was about a girl that went to the restroom at the Wai'alae Drive In to refresh her lipstick. When she looked in the mirror, she seen a faceless girl with only half of a body and long hair.
Oh.
When the girl turned around, the figure was gone and the door slammed shut and she couldn't get out. Now, it said that she was so scared she fainted and had to be taken to the hospital.
Now, how come that one was missing half a body?
Maybe she only wanted to manifest half of her body.
Mm-hmm. So they can decide what parts of their bodies they want to manifest, but they never manifest a face?
They just don't have a face. They have the rest of it, they just don't have it. But yeah, they can, decide if they just want to go out and be like this. Ooh.
Okay.
Just be a finger. Because they're ghostesses. Do what they want.
I'm just saying, I think you kind of jumped on my finger train on that one.
I did. I did.
You stole my finger.
Do what I want.
Make it literal. Come on, steal my finger. Ouch. Not sponsored.
Now, another story is that a woman went into the restroom at the drive-in, and there was another woman combing her hair. She walked up to the mirror, and the other woman turned towards her, revealing that she had no face. That woman ended up having a nervous breakdown from the terrifying event, and she too had to be hospitalized. There's a woman who has actually claimed that the Faceless Ghost is that of her friend from her younger years. Her friend was left an inheritance, but she ended up blowing through it and was in massive debt. Her family was said to have been so ashamed that they moved away. She claimed that her friend now moves along the streets mourning her fall from grace, and she was made to wander the roads as the Naparubo, a faceless ghost.
Mm-hmm. That's sad.
Now, people have said that they still see the faceless ghost, and many have seen her in the bathroom of the mall in Kahala, where the drive-in used to be. Now, the next one is Morgan's Corner. Now, Morgan's Corner is said to be one of the most haunted places. There have been multiple fatal car crashes, and people say that they feel a real sense of eeriness in the area close to the old Morgan estate. Some think that it may be cursed, and some think it may be supernatural. A lot of the stories about the road are different versions of the legend of the Hook, which is maybe called something in different states. But if you don't know the tale, I'm sure you will once I start reading it. But a guy and a girl's hello.
Welcome back.
A guy in a girl's car breaks down. He leaves her there to go get gas. And she's been waiting for hours when she hears scratching on the roof of the car. Now she's too scared to go look to see what it might be. And she eventually falls asleep. Then she's woken up by a police officer telling her to get out of the car but not to turn around. Well, of course, she turns around and she sees her boyfriend hanging from a tree branch above the car, and his fingernails are scratching the roof of the car as he swings back and forth.
Wasn't that a Super Nat episode?
Maybe.
The Hook Man or whatever? Isn't that how that started?
Possibly. But I mean, that story's been around forever. But
isn't that such human nature, though? When somebody's like, don't look. It's human instinct to look.
Yeah. First thing you want to do is like, what?
I've had many an injury due to somebody saying, don't look.
Have you learned your lesson?
No, I mean, I look every time. It's like, it's like an instinctive thing. I don't even think about it. I just do it. I just look because I'm a human, and that's what we do as the species.
It's true.
Somebody's like, oh, that smells awful. What's your instinct? Let me smell it.
What?
You don't do that when somebody's like, oh my god, this smells so bad. Smell it. You smell it every time, right?
Oh.
Or this tastes really bad. Taste it. You taste it every time, right?
No. If somebody tells me that it tastes like, they're like, oh my god, this tastes horrible. I'm not going to taste it.
I'm absolutely going to taste it. I'm going to taste it every time. And I'm going to smell it every time. I like to smell and taste shit. Wait. Stop.
Got that real quick, didn't you?
Things, okay? Things.
One legend about Morgan's Corner is that a boy broke up with his girlfriend and that she was so upset that she went to Morgan's Corner and hung herself from a tree. Now, it said that she hung there for so long that her body and head separated.
Oh.
People say that if you look into the tree, sometimes she'll grab at you, and sometimes her headless body just roams the area.
That's really sad, actually.
There is, however, another tragedy that happened in the area that is the murder of Teresa Wilder. Two prison inmates, James Majors and John Paul Lakiko, who were serving time for burglary, escaped on Wednesday, March 10th, 1948, around 11:30 a.m. They took refuge in the hills of Nuuanu Valley, but needed food, so they started walking down the road. At one of the houses, they were run off by a dog, and at another house, they were able to find a coconut. Then they were able to get 2 raincoats and a bottle of citronella.
Citronella.
Yes, citronella. At the Midkiff Estate. Then they went back to the hillside for a while before heading back down the road to find more food. They went to the Wilder property believing that no one was home. They tried many of the windows before walking around the side of the house that was closest to the Pale Road, and that is when they seen Miss Wilder getting ready to eat. They went back around the house and found a small window in the dressing room and entered the home. The door to that room was locked, so Majors crawled through a 14 by 18-inch air vent into the next room and unlocked the door for John, and they started looking through the room for valuables. Miss Wilder heard the commotion and ran to the room, asking who was there. John ran up to her and grabbed her by the arm, saying that they only wanted food. Now, she was able to get loose and ran to the door, calling for help, when she was grabbed by John again. She tried to fight him off, but was unable to, and he dragged her to the ground, hitting her in the eye. Then they tied her up and blindfolded her. And they took her to the bedroom, and she started to regain consciousness and started fighting the men again, and they both hit her, and they threw her on the bed. John hit her on the chin twice, and Majors hit her on the jaw, and then they gagged her with a towel.
Seems really unnecessary.
Now, the 2 men grabbed some food and left through the same window that they used to get in. They tried to steal a car, and they were caught by the owner, who called the police. While waiting for them to get there, Majors asked for a cigarette, and when he went to light it, he hit the man in the face and ran. John, however, was too slow and was arrested at 10:30 p.m. March 12th and returned to prison and put in solitary confinement. During this time, Miss Wilder's body had not been found.
Oh, so they did kill her? Oh.
That Tuesday, Miss Wilder's body was found by her housekeeper and her gardener. When they got there, they got worried because she wasn't answering the door. The doors were locked, and the newspapers had been piling up on the doorstep. The housekeeper crawled through a small window and opened the door for the gardener. They went to Miss Wilder's room and seen her on the bed. They thought that she was sleeping until they seen the gag, and they called her doctor. He said that it looked like she had been deceased since Thursday, and then he called the police. The Majors was arrested after being stopped at a roadblock. The officer became suspicious of a bundle that was laying at his feet, and he asked Majors about it. Majors quickly went for his hip pocket. The officer, thinking that he was about to pull out a weapon, the officer pulled him out of the car. The Majors escaped him for a moment and took out a bottle from his pocket and downed the liquid. The officer slapped it out of his hands, but Majors just fell to the ground. Now, the bottle had iodine in it, and he was quickly rushed to the first aid station where his stomach was pumped, and he was taken to the Queen's Hospital where he was heavily guarded by police. The Major would tell the police that he heard about Miss Wilder's death and told them that they had broken to her home, where he tied her up and they left her there. Both men were charged with first-degree murder, and the jury found them both guilty, and they were sentenced to death by hanging.
Okay.
But their sentences were eventually changed to 90 years in prison and then probation.
Why? I mean, they did something pretty freaking awful.
John was sent back to prison for violating his probation, and he died on September 11th, 1974. Majors finished his probation and on December 20th, 1968, and died of natural causes in 2009. Huh. All right, now this last one is pretty short, but I thought it was a pretty interesting case. Okay, so when you go on vacation, you might be tempted to take a small souvenir back home with you. Well, do that at your own risk if you go on vacation in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the post office receives hundreds of packages that contain lava rocks of many shapes, sizes, and colors. The letters explain that they took the rock home, and now that they are having bad luck, like deaths in the family, losing jobs, and other problems. They beg that the rocks be taken back to where they came from. It's also said that if you take anything from Hawaii that is naturally from there, whether it's sand, grass, water, there's a good possibility you may become cursed.
Uh-oh.
So just think twice about whether or not it's worth taking the risk of bringing any natural souvenirs back home with you from Hawaii. That went weird real quick. But anyway.
Why though?
The gods place a curse on you because, it's Hawaii and they're protecting and you're not supposed to take anything that doesn't belong to you because that
I mean, everybody's taken like a seashell or a sand dollar or something like that. I mean, what about all the stuff they sell in gift shops that supposedly came from the island? Did the guys like make a special trip to the gift shops to ensure that if you bought it legitimately, you didn't steal it, so it's okay? Like, what about that kind of stuff? Because there's all kinds of stuff they sell all over the island that is naturally from the beaches or naturally from the trees or whatever.
Well, maybe it's okay because it's not stealing. Hey, I'm just going by what I read.
I don't know about that logic.
Okay, well, there might be some people out there that disagree with you.
Well, if so, I would love to hear from them.
Yeah, tell us. How wrong is she?
Yeah,
you can't be stealing from the Hawaii.
I love to be wrong. It's my favorite.
Please do
it. It's my favorite. I do it every day, just for funsies.
Being wrong?
Yeah. I do. Every morning I roll out of bed and I'm like, dang, this purple sky. Just for fun.
A very strange person. But anyway, so that is the Hauntings of Hawaii. Thank you for staying with us and hanging out with us and listening to all our stuff all the time.
You're welcome. I felt obligated since I'm one of the hosts.
I want to talk to you.
Oh, all right. Well, you're welcome anyway.
No, not everybody's talking to you.
Why not? I'm awesome. I talk to me constantly. I'm a great conversationalist.
Because there's other people out there.
Who?
Like our fans.
Where?
Out there.
Introduce yourself. Let me know I'm not alone, people. I feel so alone.
Keep acting like that and we might be. On our YouTube page, you're like, what happened here?
That was crazy.
What'd you do?
That's always the question. I get asked that all the time. What'd you do? Nothing. Anyway, we really would appreciate if you like what we're doing and you like our content, you want to hear more, want to hang out with us some more. We would really appreciate a like, a share, a subscribe, a follow, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets. Everybody.
Keep wanting to go imagination.
Oh. Hey. But that's our case for today, and we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we hope you enjoyed the Hauntings of Hawaii.
Yeah.
We're moving on to old Idaho next. I actually think I'm going to do my WTF case first, and then we'll move on to Idaho. So you got your little break in between. But yeah, hope you join us for all of those, and we hope you've joined us for all of our previous cases, or will join us for our previous cases, and yeah, just hope to see you guys here. Other than that,